We will be reviewing Conga Contracts search queries. A search query will allow a user to return all the records to which they have access per their assigned roles. However, access to the search query feature is available to all users and cannot be removed via roles. In this overview, we will be creating two queries. One will return all the contracts effective within a given year, and the other will return all contracts expiring within the next rolling 90 days. Search query is accessible via the Tools menu at the top of the screen. Click on the down caret to the right of the word Tools, select Search Query, and click. Once in the search query area, clicking on New will clear any current data or previous search queries you may have been working with so that you can start fresh. The result type dropdown governs the fields that will be available to select as columns in the resulting records. Clicking on the down caret will display the 4 highest levels of tables that may be queried. Clicking on the gray right-pointing down caret next to the word company will open the hierarchy of tables under the company table, which you can think of as fields on the company profile screen. If you then click on the caret to the left of the word contract, that will open the hierarchy of tables under the contract table, which you can think of as a collection of fields on the contract profile screen. You will notice many of the table names are the same as links on both the company and the contract profiles in the lower left corner of those user interfaces. For our first search query, all contracts effective within a given year, in order to have a selection of any field on the company and contract profile as a column on the resulting data, we want to select company and then contract. For our first search query, all contracts effective within a given year, we will be using two fields from the contract profile, contract status, and effective date. To find the fields, click on the down pointing caret to the right of the criteria selection section. This will reveal the actual fields on the company profile once you click this right pointing caret to the left of the word company. These are all the actual fields on the company profile. If we scroll past those fields, this will display all the tables hierarchically under the company table. In our case, again, we want to find a field on the contract table. So we'll click on the little gray right pointing caret next to the word contract. And we are interested in contract status for our first criteria. And as we said before, we are going to be interested in effective date as a set of bookends so that we can get all of the contracts that were effective, in our example, within the year 2020. So selecting effective date for one side of the bookends and effective date on the other side of the bookends. So functionally, what we want to get back here are any contract status that was begun, and maybe even terminated, but not canceled. We don't want contracts that were never started. So we are looking to exclude the contract status called did not pursue. So the operands that we're working with here are in, which means equal, not in, that means not equal, null, which means empty or no blank, which could never happen for contract status because it's a required field on the contract profile, and then not null, which means any value. So again, we're looking to exclude, so not in, any contract status that did not pursue. The bookends we're talking about, again, we're looking to get everything that happened effective date 2020. So we're going to want everything after a very specific date, which is December 31st, 2019, and everything that happened before the effective date, January 1st, 2021. And that will bring back all of the records that were effective in our system for the year 2020. Saving the query will run the query and give us the opportunity to name the query for future use. If you're only using this query one time, you could go ahead and click execute and that will execute the query. But for our sake, we want to have a meaningful name to our query so that we know what it is we're going to be running in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and name that all contracts effective within 2020. The description is there just for you more information for you for the future if you're looking at what this query means. So once I click save, it will run the query, and these are our returned records. So you may notice that the columns here may or may not be what we're interested in seeing. So in order to change that, the way we do that is by hovering over any of the column headers and clicking on any of these down pointing carets on any one of these fields. That is going to expose the ascending or descending abilities, which you're welcome to do if that's important to you. But we're looking to decide which columns do we want to display on our results. So hovering over columns is going to show all of the fields at the company and the contract level. Again, this is because of the result type that we chose at the beginning of this overview. So the fields that I'm interested in seeing are contract number, which is already checked, legal entity, which is the us party to the contract, legal entity, company name, which is the them party, right, the other party. So these are in alphabetical order, so we make sure that's already checked. Contract group, which is another field on the contract profile. Contract status, which we asked for. We want to make sure it's anything other than did not pursue. Agreement type, which is way at the top. This is alphabetical order. The contract type, right here. And the effective date, which is here. And finally, the current expiration date, which is right here. Now, you'll notice that there are several fields that I'm not particularly interested in. So to get rid of them, we just do the exact same thing. We find any down caret, hover over columns, and then go through and uncheck the boxes that we're not interested in seeing. So external ID, company group, company number, company status, these fields. Missed a couple. Contract family. Anything that I'm not interested in seeing, I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck. And that should leave us with our 9 fields that we're interested in. So we have 9 fields. Very good. Now, this is not the order I'm particularly interested in seeing them. So you can change the order of the fields by just dragging and dropping them. You can also widen or make them more narrow. So that you can see more of the data as is important to you. So I like to see contract number first, legal entity second, company name third, contract group after that, and then contract status after that, then agreement type, contract type, effective date, then current expiration date. So when you're happy with the way your results look, the order of the fields and how wide they are, at that point, you definitely want to save the query again. If you do not save the query again, then it will run the next time with the previous column selections. So make sure that you save it after you've sorted it the way you want and organized the columns the way you want and made them as wide as you want. Go ahead and click that save query as many times as you need to get it right. You'll notice at the top of the screen, there is an export to Excel button, and that will allow you to create a download report in Excel. It looks much like a CSV download, but it does allow you to work with the data in Excel if that's of interest to you. If you want to rerun this search query at a different time, you can always click on the load button, and load is going to display all of the queries that you have. So you can see here, all contracts effective within 2020 is here, and we can click on it and click OK to run it again. Now, for our second query, we're going to go ahead and cancel out of this and start again. We're going to click New and clear out our data. Now, the second query, all contracts expiring within the next rolling 90 days in order to have the selection of any field that we want. Again, at the company profile level, we would select company, and then we want any field on the contract profile level. And so we select contract. Now for this one, we also are interested in seeing document level data. So we're going to go ahead and click on documents, and you can see that 3 tables are now available for us so that we can have 3 different tables to search, to add fields from once we execute this search query. We will be using the field's current expiration date, which is on the contract profile. So not company, but contract. Current expiration date is here. And we also want to use the field contract status as one of our criteria. And finally, we want the document type of contract executed. So that's not at the company level, it's not at the contract level, it's down at the document level, specifically document type. We're interested in all the contracts that are active. Remember, the point of this is to have all contracts that are expiring within the next 90 days. So we're not interested in anything that's not actually active. If it's already expired, we don't care about that. So the contract status we're looking for here, in means equal. And we're looking for anything that is active. The document type that we're looking for, we're only interested in seeing things that actually have an uploaded executed contract. So we're going to have for our document type in, and the document type we're interested in is contract executed. Now, in order to get our rolling 90 days, what we're going to do is make our bookends with the current expiration date. So I actually would like to go ahead and add that last. So I'm going to add the current expiration date. And again, we're adding bookends for current expiration date. So I add one current expiration date and a second current expiration date to get the bookends that we're looking for. Now, remember, for this, we're looking for anything that's expiring within the next 90 days. So the first bookend is going to be anything that's happening after today. So to make this a reusable rolling search query, we're going to use these features down here where we're saying after today plus X. In this example, X is going to be 0 because today plus 0 is today. We're looking for everything after today, but we don't want it to go on forever. We want it to stop 90 days in the future and then give us anything that's happening after today, but before 90 days in the future. So to do that, we'll select today, before today plus X, where X is 90. So here is how we get our bookends. Everything after today, which is today plus 0, and everything before today plus 90 days in the future, which is 3 months from now. And we'll get everything to the left of that if you're thinking of a timeline. So again, once we have your criteria set, you click Save Query, and that will allow you to name the search query. So I'm going to name this one All Active Contracts Expiring Within the Next 90 Days. And I'm going to put that filter name here. And then click Save, which will execute the contract. Execute the search query. And notice here on this cut of the data, we have not only the Export to Excel button, but we also have the Bulk Download Documents button. Clicking on Bulk Download Documents will create a zipped file that contains all the documents from our search query, which you can see here are also available for viewing by clicking on this little down pointing icon on to the left. So this one has 2 documents associated with it. This one has 1, and this one has 1. But this is returning specifically the ones with the document type of contract executed. So these would be the 3 file names that would be downloaded when you click Bulk Download Documents. Similar to the first search query, you can choose which columns you want to have in your results. So again, these are not the ones that I'm necessarily interested in. So I'm going to go ahead and hover over the little down caret on any one of these column headers and hover over columns and go about choosing the columns that I'm interested in seeing and unchecking the ones that I'm not. So I want to make sure that I have everything that I want, which begins with contract number, then goes to legal entity, scrolling all the way down. This is in alphabetical order. Then company name up at the top. And I know I'm not interested in some of these fields, so I can go ahead. It doesn't matter what order you select them or unselect them, as long as they're what you want to have there. Company name, contract group, the contract status, contract agreement type, we have contract type, the current expiration date, so we can see when it actually is going to expire within the next 90 days. And then now for our documents, you can see not only do we have the company fields and the contract fields, we also have document fields. We're interested in 3 fields in particular about the document: the document type, which really is going to be the same because we ask specifically for the executed contract documents. But we might also want to know the revision number, which we can find here, document revision number, which is checked, and the document file name. So not so interested in the others, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck any related documents, document related fields here. So once I'm happy with my selection, again, I can put them in the order that I'm interested in. So contract number, legal entity, company name, contract group. I see I missed tax ID, which I'm going to go all the way down to the T's and remove. There we go. Contract group, contract status, agreement type, contract type, effective date, which I like to put before expiration date. And here are my document types, my file names, and my revision for my documents. So this is the order that I'd like it in. Again, you can make your columns as wide as makes sense so that you can see the data that's been returned. And if you're interested in running an Excel output, then you can click Export to Excel. If you want these documents downloaded, you can click Bulk Download Documents, and it will create that zipped file for you. Once you have saved the query, again, because we changed the order and the field selection, that will become available again by clicking Load. It's important to highlight the search query and not click the global checkbox. Checking the box will make the search query visible to and available for all users to run. And only the user that checks this global box will be able to uncheck the box. So you want to make sure that if you're making a search query global, that you're doing it on purpose. So this is the search that we just created. If we wanted to rerun it, we can just highlight it. Again, don't click the box unless your intention is to make it global for all of your users. Just highlight it and click OK, and that will rerun the data. We give you the opportunity to either resave it or to just execute it. There you go. All right. Now that you have 2 new search queries, each user may decide to add them to their own dashboard. This is done by clicking on the logo at the top left of the screen, which you may have replaced with your company's logo, or you can always click Home to go to the dashboard. From here, click on the Add Portlet button on the top right of your screen and scroll down to select Search Queries. Click Add. Once you've added the search query, there's a gear icon in the right-hand corner of the dashboard portlet. This is going to reveal the same search queries that the Load button displays when you click it from the search query feature itself. Selecting the first All Contracts Effective within 2020 and clicking OK will run that query and place the results here. So you can see it's the same results that we had on the search query feature itself. However, this, now that it's on your dashboard portlet, is going to refresh itself every time you come back to your dashboard. So you can make this highly customized for yourself. You can also have as many search query portlets referencing as many different search queries as you would like. So if you want to add a second one, go ahead and click Add Portlet. Select the search query portlet by clicking Add. Again, click the admin gear. And now we can add all active contracts expiring within the next 90 days. Again, you can see here that whatever you name your search query is what's going to be listed on your dashboard portlet. One thing to note is that once you are here, you may want to go ahead and move the display around. So if you say that you want to have things in a different order, you may absolutely do that, but it will be temporary because when you come back to your dashboard, these portlets are meant to go back and recapture the data from the search query. So if you absolutely want something in a different order or you want to change the search query display, go back and change it in the actual search query itself, resave the search, then recapture it by using the gear in the dashboard portlet. And that will make sure that you have all of the changes captured that you are interested in seeing on your dashboard. Again, you may add as many search query portlets as you like, each referencing a different search query as appropriate, and you can make your dashboard as customized as you'd like. Happy searching, everyone.